Okay, so in this video I'm going to do something a little different than the normal studio stuff, and today I'm going to review and give you guys my opinion on the Genesis Hellfire electric skateboard.
True Sound Studios is in your ears.
Hey guys, what is up? I'm Weezna, and this is my studio, True Sound Studios. Now, full-time, I am a producer, mixing engineer, so the recording being my main job really leaves the skateboarding to be my hobby. So it's the thing that I use when I want to go get lunch. I will skateboard to get food, I'll go to the bank, you name it, run errands. I will do anything I can to get out of the studio and just be outside and skateboard. So I've been skateboarding for about 20 years now, but only last year did I even learn that there was something called an electric skateboard. So after I started looking around for these electric skateboards, I obviously learned about like the boosted boards that were $1,500 and up, at least for the dual motored ones. And I really wasn't looking to pay that much money. I was thinking maybe somewhere around $600 is what I'd be willing to spend on an electric skateboard because I honestly just didn't know how much I was gonna use it. So after browsing the internet for a few months, I kept stumbling upon this company, Genesis, Ride Genesis. So finally I went ahead and pulled the trigger. I bought the Genesis Hellfire electric skateboard, and honestly, my life hasn't been the same. So because I see all these electric skateboard companies coming out now, I kind of felt compelled to make my own video, my own review video, showing you guys really how amazing this thing is. So anyways, in this video I'm going to show you how far you can ride on a single charge on this board, how well this electric skateboard does going up hills, how long it takes to charge the battery, and then obviously I'll also throw in my personal opinion on the skateboard, along with the things that are really amazing about the skateboard and some of the negatives. Okay guys, so here you go. This is my look at the Genesis Hellfire electric skateboard. Okay guys, so here we go. This is the first test. So I want to show you and prove to you how far you can actually go on a fully charged battery. So to accurately track the distance and to give a timeline of this entire ride, I'm going to use this road bike app on my phone. And then afterwards, we'll look at some of the other data that this app tracks. It also tracks the top speed, the average speed, and even some of the elevation changes. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start. And yeah, here we go. Okay, so quick update. I've been skating around for about 10 minutes. Battery is still full. All 4 LEDs are still lit. So you can see I've been riding for about 11 minutes now and went 2.33 miles. So something I do have to mention today, it is beautiful out. There's pretty much no wind, which does help this electric skateboard go further. Obviously, like with any board, it doesn't matter if it's this board or another board. If you have wind, it slows you down, it eats up more battery, especially when the wind is coming towards you. But yeah, today is a great day to do this test. So another thing you can do to kill some of the wind if it is, if it is windy out, is you can crouch down on your board. So obviously there's less of your body getting hit by the wind, which does help extend the battery a little bit. So kind of like this. And also it's kind of nice to do this because you're like kind of sitting. So if you are going out for a long ride. Okay, so a little quick update. I have been riding for about 20 minutes now and went 4.2 miles. And we just got to 3 LEDs, which means right around that 75% battery power, but it literally just changed. So another thing when you become an electric skateboard owner, or just a skateboarder in general, you definitely know and start to take note of all the streets that have either fresh pavement or the streets that do have the big potholes in them, because it does make for such a smoother ride. Okay, so quick update. We are now 35 minutes into this ride. We've done 7.58 miles. The skateboard now has 2 LEDs lit, which means 50% battery power. Okay, so let's talk about the positives of this board. So first, the deck. What you stand on is called the deck. Between that and the big 90mm wheels, this board is, you know, it's not super bouncy. It's not like the boosted board where, you know, you can bounce on it like a trampoline, but it's also not stiff at all. In fact, I mean, you know, it's pretty much almost 40 minutes of riding around now. It's not like my feet hurt or anything. I think it's a very comfortable ride. So definitely love the big wheels. It makes going over rocks and, you know, holes in the asphalt really easy. The second thing that I absolutely love about this is the remote. I know some people complain about the remotes and stuff like that. You know, no, I don't have anything else to compare it to, but I love how it fits in your hand super nice and easily. It's small. If you're not supposed to be using an electric skateboard, you can hide the remote really easily. So definitely love those things. As you guys will see, the distance that you can do on this board I think is really impressive. You guys will also see the top speed of this board, which I think is also very impressive. Another quick update. As you can see, we are 47 minutes into this ride and we have done 9.82 miles. And let's go check the battery level on the board. So as you can see right here, still at 50% power, and we have almost done 10 miles. Okay, and so this is where I call it quits. This is like what I call the bottom half of half power. I mean, the skateboard barely moves. I still got 50% it says on the board, but it's just so slow. This is pretty much where I go home. It's just too slow for me. So I am gonna go home and we'll talk a little further about this board. Okay, so there you go. That is the final trip numbers. Pretty much exactly an hour, and we went 11.68 miles. Okay guys, so let's just quickly talk about the results from this distance test. So if we start up top, just about an hour it took me to do that whole trip, to do those just about 11.7 miles. Average speed, just about 15 miles per hour, which is pretty quick, and I think that's actually really good. Max speed at almost 20 miles an hour, so when they tell you can do 20 miles on this board, that I definitely agree with. So with the elevation up and down, 177 feet I think is pretty good. I mean, it's not, we don't live in a totally flat area. There's definitely enough hills. So there you guys go. That is like real life stats. Now I've had this board for about 3.5 months, so it is not a brand new battery. So I think these are just some like really realistic expectations of what this board really can do. Okay, so now I'm gonna take the very dead skateboard and I am going to go ahead and charge it, which will take about 2.5 hours, which is very accurate. And then we are going to do the hill climb test on this freshly charged board. Okay, so now we're gonna do an incline test. I'm gonna show you guys 2 different hills. This hill right here is crazy steep. I'm gonna get out my app, which will show you guys the angle of this hill. And then we're gonna go to another one that's not as steep. It's close, but it also takes much longer to get up. So this hill, very steep, short amount of distance. Let's see how this thing does. Okay, so here we go, up the really steep hill, full throttle, and it's barely making it now. So much for saying it wasn't a windy day out. So as you can see, it made it up the hill. Obviously it's very, very steep hill. So I assume you're not gonna be doing too many of those if you're trying to skate around your area, because unfortunately those hills do require a lot of power to get you up there. So obviously it's gonna kill your overall distance that you can travel on a single battery. Okay, here we go. So this is up the well, long but still fairly steep hill. Definitely not at full speed, but I do have the controller on full. But it does really well. I mean, I'm not slowing down, and I accelerated up the hill. So there you go. It seemed pretty easy. So another thing I want to point out is going up that hill, the wind was actually to my face, so obviously making it even harder to go up that hill. And now we are going back down. Absolutely no throttle at all. But I am going to use the brakes a little bit here. Oh, crap. Okay guys, so let's just do a really quick overview of this board. So we'll start in the back here, the hub motors. Essentially this is how the electric skateboard allows you to move effortlessly. Each one of these wheels has a motor built into the wheel. It's called a hub motor. And each hub motor is 350 watts, so it gives you a total of 700 watts. And I know compared to some of the other boards, 700 watts doesn't sound like a ton of power, but I promise you it is more than enough. Full charge, when you hit that gas all the way, this board will launch out from under your feet if you're not careful. I mean, the amount of torque and speed that you get with two 350 watt motors is more than enough. Now I weigh about 150 pounds, and a lot of the times I have a backpack, a video backpack with me with a whole bunch of video gear, which probably adds another 15 pounds. So you really can go really far with this. And it's pretty much the reason why I ride my electric skateboard everywhere instead of driving. And then right here, this box is the speed controller and essentially the rest of the electronics. And then from here to here, this is actually the battery, and it is enclosed with like aluminum vented housing. And then up front you have your two unpowered wheels. So then we flip this over, and on top here there's 4 LEDs that allow you while you're riding to see what the battery level of the skateboard is. So now let's just take a look at the remote real quick. It is obviously very small. It fits in the palm of your hand really nicely. The red switch on the side of the remote is the power switch, obviously turning the remote on and off. And then this red switch on the top of the remote, this is how you accelerate and brake. So obviously forward is to accelerate, and then back is to brake. And then there are 3 LEDs towards the bottom of the remote. The LED all the way to the left indicates when you are in reverse. The middle LED is to let you know when it is powered on. And the LED all the way to the right is the charge LED, and this will turn off when the remote has been fully charged. And then at the very bottom of the remote is the forward and reverse switch. And then to charge the remote, there's a small micro USB connector in the very front. Okay guys, so there you go. That is my review on the Genesis Hellfire electric skateboard. So just to be clear, nobody's paying me to do this. I'm doing this because I really truly like the company. I like the skateboard, and I really think you guys should know about it. And also I want to give you guys some confidence if you're going to go ahead and spend $500 that it's going to be worth the money. So just some final thoughts and some good and bad things about the board. So number one, I love the hub motors. You know, the fact that there's no gears or belts to change or to wear out really is amazing. Not to mention the board just rolls like a regular skateboard after the batteries die. I mean, you can just use it as a regular board even if it didn't have any electronics in it. So that to me is a really great thing. Now it's really nice that they sell extra batteries, and I know I didn't mention this earlier on, but you can actually go ahead and take the battery out with just unscrewing 2 screws, no tools needed, and pop out a dead battery and put a brand new battery in there that's fully charged so that you could even extend that 11.7 miles that I did. So getting to that, you know, 11.7 miles I think is a really good range for an electric skateboard. I think that's impressive. Not to mention the speed of the board, 20 miles an hour. Now I've gotten it up to like 22 on a really calm day, and just a little bit of a, you know, a decline going down a hill a little bit. And I think that is really amazing for such an inexpensive board. Another thing that really helps out with the speed is those big 90mm wheels. Obviously bigger wheels, bigger top end, but it does actually lower the acceleration a little bit. But like I've said and mentioned before, I think the acceleration is great for what you pay for the board and for the fact that they're hub motors, so there is no gearing. So either way, I think that's a thumbs up. And finally, to finish off the positives of the board, I love the fact that these guys are located in New York City, so I don't have to deal with some company that's out of this country or, you know, who knows where. So it's fairly easy to go ahead and talk with them if you ever had any issues with your product. So there's only a few negatives for me in this board. Number one being the back wheels, because the hub motor is built around the wheel. As of today, there's actually no replacement for that. So that does make me a little nervous, you know, down the road when these wheels tear up even more and essentially become unusable. The front wheels are just standard skateboard, longboard wheels, so those will be easy to replace, but the back wheels is the only thing I'm a little concerned with, but hopefully they don't wear out anytime soon. And really my only other negative is that the board is a little bit heavier than, you know, you might like to carry it around. Even if I'm carrying it, you know, for a 3-5 minute walk somewhere, it's definitely heavy. It is definitely a heavy board, which is, if I go grocery shopping with it, I generally like hang it over the shopping cart so I don't have to carry it the whole time. Really, those are like some really first world problem negatives. For the most part, I love the board. I really think it is amazing. I think it is a really, really great value. And I think if you guys buy it, you'll be really happy. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video and this review. And I hope you guys have the chance to go out and buy a Genesis Hellfire electric skateboard.